these developments mean for the whole of the UK. Lauren McEvatt is a member of the Independent Commission on the Constitutional Future of Wales and joins us now. Lauren, great to have you here. Christian was talking about really the importance from one of her interviews of steadying the ship right now. How important is that for the credibility of the Conservative Party and indeed of the country as a whole?
Well, it's crucial. There's no credibility for the Conservative Party in the poll numbers that we have at the moment. This is a truly shocking state of affairs for our party to find itself in, and there is an argument that our credibility is so poor that even having a general election, the argument in favour of a general election is that there's no mandate for the government to have another leader. But if our credibility is this low, then we've essentially got nothing to lose in trying again with someone new. But from the whole of UK perspective, the Conservatives obviously don't poll as the majority party in Wales. They don't poll as the majority party in Scotland, and they don't poll as the majority party in Northern Ireland. But they govern as the majority party in Westminster on behalf of the United Kingdom. And that makes our international credibility and how we treat the Union very difficult indeed.
Yeah, and that's such an important point for our viewers right around the world to try and understand, because many people have been left scratching their heads. How is it possible that we've got a third Prime Minister, given the crisis that we have seen? But this is very much a crisis, self-inflicted crisis, a crisis of their own making. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, the straw that really broke the camel's back was the mini-budget.
I think that was one of the straws. Yeah. I think that the whipping last night is really what did for her.
Yes, absolutely.
The spectacle in the lobby yesterday evening cannot be repeated.
Over the fracking vote, not fracking vote.
This is completely ridiculous. The Labour Party put a giant bear trap on the road, signposted 12 miles out, bear trap with a large souvenir shop next to it, selling souvenirs to the bear trap, and we walked straight into it as a party, which we used to be better at. We used to not do that. Her credibility is shot with her colleagues. She absolutely had to go. There was no surviving what happened yesterday evening. But whether or not our party's credibility can be built back will hang on who comes next.
Let's talk about that then, because we're still obviously will know next week who that might be. That's quite a quick process, given everything we've been through 7 weeks or so previously. Who do you think will be the top candidate here? Or who the party will rally behind? We're talking about unity, a unity leader here.
Well, there isn't on our best day. There isn't a great deal of unity in the Conservative Party. It's
exactly what Christian and I were just talking about.
It's one of our underlying features. But we've always been what we refer to as a broad church.
Broad church, right?
Let's hope we can get back to that.
Can you rally? Rally behind a candidate.
I'm hoping that it's Rishi Sunak. I think that there are people who will very much hope that it isn't, particularly people who are very angry about him knifing Boris in the back in the way that they perceive that he did. Boris Johnson is flying back from his Caribbean holiday right now.
Do you know whether he's throwing his hat in the ring?
My understanding is that he is, but I have absolutely no more to go on than anybody else in this town, which is a rumour-mongering cesspit this evening.
Okay, if he does throw his hat in the ring, what are the chances that you'll get 100 votes or so?
It's very hard to tell, actually. It's febrile in the parliamentary party for the Conservatives right now, and it's very difficult to understand how many are going to want to back a unity candidate straight out of the blocks, and how many think that Boris Johnson may have a better chance with the country than anybody else who was on the leadership roster at the last go, 6 weeks ago, whenever it was. My gut as a sensible Conservative is I very much hope that it's Rishi Sunak and Penny Mordaunt in the end. My fear is it ends up being Rishi Sunak and Boris Johnson, and we accidentally stumble into Boris Johnson being Prime Minister again.
For our viewers, I mean, viewers watching this from around the world, so how can it be Boris Johnson? He was pushed out given the crisis, Partygate. How can he possibly take back that spot again?
Well, we don't operate a presidential system here, however much he tried to behave as if we did at many points.
But his behaviour, just his behaviour, exactly what he's been accused of, right? How do you think that would, how people feel up and down the country if he returns?
I think it would be a very bad thing for reputation. I think it would be a very bad thing for the country. But it is conceivable under our current system that it could work. We don't elect a president. We each elect a member of parliament. The largest party of MPs, has a leader, and that person becomes prime minister. So this is very much an internal process to the Conservative Party by the nature of the constitutional system that we work within. And one of those quirks is that Boris Johnson could find himself back in the hot seat in a week and a half.
My goodness, but your money is on Rishi Sunak,
My money's on absolutely nobody. I don't have any more after the last month.
Oh my goodness. That says everything there is to say about the state of affairs right now. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.